They thought they had it all figured out. Frame an innocent man, walk away clean, and no one would be the wiser. But when their suspect turned out to be the district attorney, everything they thought they controlled came crashing down around them. What happened next left an entire courtroom speechless. Gabriel Knox knew this coffee shop better than he knew his own apartment. The two glaring pendant lights, the half-asleep baristas cranking out overpriced macchiatos, and the lazy jazz drifting from the ceiling speakers all painted a scene of quiet familiarity. No one actually liked the music, but it made the place feel classier, like you were paying for an experience, not just a cup of caffeine. It was the kind of spot where college students curled into themselves behind laptops, their faces pale from deadline stress. Where middle-aged professionals clung to their espressos like lifelines, their last defense against walking out and quitting their jobs on the spot. Gabriel had made it part of his routine, swing by on his way home, grab a coffee, clear his head. It wasn't anything special, just another Tuesday. And if he'd learned anything in his 45 years on Earth, it was that just another Tuesday had a way of turning sideways real fast. He was third in line when he noticed a kid. A black teenager, maybe 16, shoulders tight, standing at the register and counting out coins like they were the last ones he had. Gabriel had seen that look before, the quiet war between pride and need. The kid had clearly done the math, and it wasn't adding up. The cashier, a college girl with a silver septum ring and purple hair tied back in a messy bun, drummed her fingers on the counter. Her expression said she had no time for this. "Come on, man," the kid muttered under his breath, staring hard at the coins in his hand as if he could will them into becoming more. Gabriel didn't hesitate. He remembered being that kid. Without a word, he stepped forward, pulled out his card, and tapped it against the reader. "I got it," he said, casual like it was nothing. The kid's head snapped up. Suspicion first, because nobody's just nice for no reason. For real. His voice was tight, like he was bracing for the catch. Gabriel nodded. "Yeah, mun. Just pay it forward one day." The kid hesitated, glancing from Gabriel's face to the card reader and back again. Then he took the drink the barista handed him and mumbled, "Thanks," before slipping away into the crowd as if Gabriel might change his mind. He wouldn't. He never did. It wasn't about gratitude. Sometimes the smallest kindness stuck longer than the grand gestures. Gabriel turned back toward the counter, expecting to grab his coffee and go, but something in the air shifted. Not loud, not obvious, but he felt it. The conversations dulled around him. The energy shifted. He didn't even need to turn around to know who had walked in. Cops. He took a slow breath, deep and controlled, smoothing his face into neutrality. He was an expert at that by now, but the rest of the shop wasn't. Chairs scraped. People straightened up. A few suddenly discovered something fascinating on their phones. A man by the window lowered his voice, even though he hadn't been saying anything interesting to begin with. Gabriel finally glanced over his shoulder. Two uniformed officers stood near the door, scanning the place like lions looking for the weakest member of the herd. They found him, both white. The taller one, Officer Harden, looked like he'd stepped off a recruitment poster for every cop stereotype you could imagine. Square jaw, barrel chest, the smug grin of a man who thought his badge made him God. His partner, Officer Young, was thinner, younger, less sure of himself. He scanned the room with a nervous energy, trying hard to mirror Harden's predatory calm and failing. Their eyes landed on Gabriel, and he exhaled. "Here we go." He grabbed his coffee, made for the door, and stopped. Harden was already blocking the way. "Sir, can we have a word?" Gabriel gave him a long, slow look. "What's this about?" Harden's grin widened, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Routine check," he said smoothly. "You fit the description of someone we're looking for." Gabriel's jaw tightened. He'd heard this script too many times before. Same setup, same lazy justification. Black man breathing. That was all it ever took. He didn't flinch, didn't roll his eyes, didn't give them what they were looking for. He sipped his coffee instead. What description exactly? Harden's gaze was steady. The kind of stare a hunter gives when he's already lined up the shot. "Black male," Harden said, voice slick with amusement. "Mid-30s to 40s. Wearing a suit." Gabriel blinked. Then he gave a small, humorless chuckle. That's specific. Hardin didn't answer. Didn't need to. The smirk said it all. Young, to his left, shifted uncomfortably. "Sir," he said, clearing his throat, "we just need you to cooperate." Gabriel studied him. There was hesitation there. Not enough to stop this from happening, but enough to make him a little guilty about it. That made him just as complicit. Gabriel let out a slow breath. He could have made a scene. Could have cut them down with words alone. But not yet. Timing was everything. "Fine," he said evenly. "Make it quick." Hardin smiled like he'd won something. He stepped in closer, crowding Gabriel's space. "Mind if we search you?" Gabriel's fingers tightened on his coffee cup. "Do you have probable cause?" The question hung there. Not rhetorical. He wanted to hear them say it. Wanted them on the record. For a heartbeat, neither answered. Then Young cleared his throat again. "We had reports of a suspect carrying contraband in this area." And that's when it happened. Fast. Too fast. Hardin's wrist flicked. Something small and clear hit the ground by Gabriel's foot. Gabriel stared at the plastic baggie like it was a live grenade. Well, no. It took half a second for the realization to hit. They were framing him. Broad daylight. Packed coffee shop. And they didn't even care. Hardin stepped back in mock surprise. Well, he drawled. "What do we have here?" Young pointed like it was some major discovery. "Sir, is this yours?" Gabriel's hands curled into fists at his sides. "No," he said, voice flat. "And you know it's not." Hardin's smirk didn't falter. "Then you won't mind coming downtown." Gabriel took another breath. He wasn't done yet. Not even close. "You sure you want to do this?" he asked. Hardin scoffed. "Yeah, I'm sure." Gabriel nodded, as if conceding. "All right." He turned around, hand behind his back. The cuffs snapped closed with unnecessary force. Hardin gripped his arm tight, parading him like a trophy. And the crowd noticed. One by one, phones came out. Quiet first. Curious. Then angry. What's he even being arrested for? This is wrong. Young flinched at the murmur of voices, but Hardin was all swagger, dragging Gabriel toward the cruiser. Gabriel stayed calm. Waited. Let the tension build. And then he spoke. "You might want to run my name before you book me." Hardin laughed. "You got friends in high places." Gabriel smiled. "Something like that." Young, sweating now, pulled out his tablet. Searched. His fingers shook as he typed. And then he froze. His face drained of color. He turned the screen toward Hardin. "Gabriel Knox. District Attorney. King County." Hardin stared. His confidence drained away in an instant. Gabriel didn't move. "Uncuff me." For a second, no one did anything. Then Young fumbled with the keys. Click. Gabriel rolled his wrists. Didn't rub the marks. Didn't wince. Just stood there. Hardin opened his mouth. Gabriel raised a hand. "Save it." The silence was deadly. "You're both done," Gabriel said. "I'm making the call." And he did. Calm. Controlled. "I need internal affairs on site. Now." By the time IA arrived, the damage was done. Phones had captured everything. The frame-up. The planting. The panic. Hardin and Young stood there, pale and shaking, while IA took over. Relieved of duty, the investigator said. Effective immediately. Their badges and weapons hit the pavement. Hardin sneered. "This isn't over." Gabriel's smile was cold. "Oh, but it is." And when the footage went public, it was chaos. 2 months later, the courtroom was packed. Gabriel sat at the prosecution's table, calm and ready. Across from him, Hardin slumped in his chair, his high-powered attorney whispering frantically in his ear. But it was too late. Taylor had flipped. The jury had returned in less than an hour. Guilty. Hardin's face was a mask of shock. His arrogance gone. His future gone. 5 years. No parole. As the guards led him away, Gabriel leaned in close. Quiet. Final. Now you know how it feels. And Hardin? He didn't look back. Gabriel remained seated long after the courtroom cleared, staring at the empty defense table. Another badge fallen. Another corrupt cop exposed. But he knew better than to believe this was the end. Because for every Hardin, there were more out there. And Gabriel Knox wasn't finished yet.